Howdy, this is Lemmy with RevZilla here to talk to you today about the Kuryakyn RoadThunder Sound Bar. You should be checking out a RoadThunder for your bike if you don't have a radio on your bike, but you want to add one in there. Now these are currently going to fit a lot of different motorcycles. There's plenty of different mounting options here for a lot of different handlebars, but it's safe to say if you don't have clip-ons on your motorcycle and there's not a fairing obstructing it, you can probably get a RoadThunder onto your motorcycle. Installation on these is not particularly difficult. I'm going to call it either a difficult one or an easy 2 beard on our beard scale of difficulty. Most of you with average hand tools and a little bit of wiring knowledge should be able to get one of these onto your bike, rocking and rolling, cranking tunes very, very quickly. We'll talk a little bit more about installation in just a moment. First though, let's talk about what the soundbar actually is and what it's going to do for you. Effectively, this is a super compact, very powerful stereo, and these are meant to mount 2 handlebars. Now ideally, you're going to have this thing facing at you as you're coming down the road, so the sound is kind of blowing back at you. And it's going to work out really well, I think, on this thing simply because these put out plenty of volume and there's also decent sound quality here. I think one of the problems with getting something like this in the past has been packaging constraints. If it's small enough that it actually works well with a motorcycle, typically the sound has suffered a little bit, especially as far as power output is concerned. And for those units that were, powerful enough to actually sound good, they tended to be very bulky. Fortunately, MTX has teamed up with Kuryakyn. They've designed this sound bar that really does pack a lot of punch into a pretty small area here. So you can see this puppy. Construction on these is pretty beefy. This is a very heavy unit, realistically speaking, for its size. Very dense because they've really jammed a lot of power in here. You're looking at, I believe, a peak of 150 watts on here. So let me give this to you in layman's terms. We plugged one of these things in. It is face-meltingly loud if you are simply at an idle. So you can see on here, this thing is constructed in a way that it's pretty low profile. It's unobtrusive on the bike. All these buttons are sealed very well. You'll notice on the end here too, where we've got our inputs, you'll see there's also rubber cap sealing these as well. Now input's kind of interesting on these. These are Bluetooth capable, and they also have an auxiliary input jack. So if you're rocking something directly out of your cell phone, or perhaps you're still living back in the Bush administration and you have an iPod Shuffle, you can hook one of those up. Or if you have a modern day cell phone, you can simply attach via Bluetooth and crank your tunes that way. Setting these things up is a breeze. We had one of these onto a bike. We were rocking and rolling literally in a matter of minutes. If you check out the included wiring harness here, which is very easy to use, you'll notice there's really only 3 wires here. Hookup is a breeze on these things, and the electrical end of things, not very difficult. And then you can also see here too, we've got the mechanical end of things, and that's going to be the actual clamp-on installation here. So there's a couple different clamping options included in the box here, but if you have a set of handlebars, this is a really easy install. There's a lot of flexibility in how you can actually get this thing onto your motorcycle. As I had mentioned earlier, most of you with a couple of basic hand tools and some very, very basic wiring knowledge should be able to get this onto your bike very, very quickly. Now, one more additional note here, coming back to sound, you're probably wondering, is this thing going to be loud enough for me? And really, I can't answer that for you. Like I said, at a standstill, face-meltingly loud. However, once you're up to road speed, things are going to vary depending on a few different things. It's going to depend whether you're rocking a 3/4 or a half helmet or perhaps a full face unit. It's also going to matter whether or not you have a fairing, giving you some additional wind protection. And then you're also going to have to deal with sort of the amount of distance between the actual sound bar and you, depending on how large your motorcycle is. Some folks have reported great success with this thing, other people not so much. I know that one of the biggest contributing factors can again be that full face helmet. I know for a lot of people that does damp down some of this sound. If you find yourself in that boat and you're not really sure, you may also want to consider another product like a Bluetooth communicator, stream music directly into your helmet itself as opposed to trying to get it through your helmet. Just something to note. Now, I really like this thing. I think it's pretty nifty. I'm probably not going to throw it on any of my own bikes. I'm a little bit more traditional than these are. However, it's a really good unit. It's solidly made. For those of you who are looking for a product like this, I think you probably are going to have a hard time going wrong with something like the Kuryakyn Sound Bar. Don't take my word for it, though. Click down below, read some rider reviews from folks who are rocking this sound bar on their bikes, see what they think of it. If you have additional questions that I haven't covered in this video, feel free to get in touch with one of our very friendly gear geeks, cs@revzilla.com, or of course you can always give us a jingle on the telling bone, 877-792-9455. I'm Lemmy. I'm out of here.